So we find that obviously communication within your team is going to be fundamental for the success. Now, it's interesting because there are different personalities within your team, and that's great. That's what you want. You have certain different personalities to do different jobs. You won't have the same personalities that are going to do well at different jobs. So, for instance, I had the head of IT who was so analytical and really clear thinking in terms of that. Now, they've got a totally different personality to the marketing team and who's in that. So, what you really want to identify is people's personalities. So, you know how to be able to communicate more effectively. So, I use something called disc profiling, and that is really, really great. So, we can actually hear and see and tell how people need to be communicated, but also their motivators. What is motivating them? And therefore, you can talk to that. So, what I end up doing with a team is I work with the head leader of the team, and we go through disc profiles so that we know how best to communicate with each team member. So, for instance, this was great. So, I had one of the leaders who is a very fast talker, very determined, very outcome driven. Now, with someone like that, there was a team member who spoke really slowly and things were done dragging their feet. Now, can you imagine the different personalities here? They want to kill each other. One says this one should hurry up and just do what they've got to be doing. And this one says how arrogant that person thinks he knows everything, and they put the brakes on more. So you can understand this shift. Yet what it is, and honestly, I would say if I had to give you one quick skill right now, I mean, this is a long conversation, but one quick skill to learn right now is mirror and match. Meet someone where they're at without any judgment, because you're better off meeting them in the energy level that they are to try and assess, because you might not know straight away how that person needs to be talked to. But if you meet them on that, so the fast talker would just slow down their talk and give that person more time of day. So you'd be talking to them. Maybe they're more methodical. Maybe they're the ones in the team meeting that's writing down all the notes or typing their notes. You can tell certain people who need that one-on-one attention, or one that's just happy to just be blurted out, and you could just say a few words and they're off and they're running. But you really need to understand your team. You need to understand what each person needs. You'll understand whether certain people need communication and some people don't. Now, with COVID, this has been really interesting. So we have worked a lot on working out for leaders who they need to touch base with more often than other people in the team. So the ones that really thrive on one-on-one communication have needed their managers to be able to communicate with them via Zoom, so that they feel important, they feel cared for, they feel heard, understood. So that gives them the absolute power to do their best, because they're being communicated to in the right way. The other ones who doesn't matter, they'll just pump out the work, and that's great, and they're loving the fact that they don't have to have those face to face. You need to know that. Now, with COVID, as I said to you, there's a huge demand now for the disc profiling. I can't tell you how busy I am in terms of trying to work out people within organizations, because people are working from home. There is a little bit of a disconnection, because our mentality is, oh, I see them in the office, I know they're working. But we know that's not true. You could be in the office and you may not be productive. So what we want to do is make sure that our communication style is from a base of knowledge. Okay, we want to be able to see what the team's like and be able to almost interject with what needs to happen, to give a cross communication of fast talking, slow talking, to be able to know whether you need to be talking to them more in point form, more in elongated stories, in videos, in books, in just talking to them one-on-one with that person, that individual. So the communication style is so important. We know this even from relationships. And when you've got your business team that you're trying to communicate with, it's the same thing if you're communicating with your own family. Okay, because one is coming from, you have the outcome with your family of love. You want to communicate, you want to be present, you want to really get love and joy from that. So you go in with a certain agenda. It should be no different with a business organization. You want to really understand them and come in with love and come in with connection. But the one thing, as I said to you, mirror and match. Where are they? The slow talker to talk up and a little bit faster and more in point form. Okay, I feel this, and perhaps say, these are the issues, this is what I suggest the solutions are. Because, as I said to you, fast talkers, usually, if they're a D profile, they're very outcome driven. Don't waft on. So, really, it's about this. And when you can get that balance, you'll start to know each other and you'll be able to have no resentment because you'll understand, oh, that's not me. It's nothing to do with me. I'm not going to take that personally. That's the style of how they talk. And then once you do that, you disarm people and they're beautifully free to communicate.